Not being able to understand native Spanish speakers has been one of my biggest challenges and insecurities as a learner of the Spanish language. Hola, hola, bienvenidos a todos a mi canal, Spanish Blueprints. My name is Joshua. I can't even count how many times I have said, ¿Qué? ¿Puedes repetir, por favor? Otra vez? And I know many other Spanish learners have had the same exact struggle and they can't figure out why. And that's why in this video, I'm explaining why it's so hard to understand native Spanish speakers. So one reason is your mental state. And about 2 years ago, I was not having many conversations in Spanish. So when I did have them, I would get extremely tired very fast. And I could only have a conversation for only about 30 minutes before my mind was completely exhausted. And that is the exact moment when I wasn't able to understand that Spanish speaker because my head was just so tight and I just couldn't keep focus and I couldn't comprehend what they were saying. But now I'm having conversations basically every single day. I can talk with a Spanish speaker for hours and hours without getting mentally tired, and I can still keep my focus, and I have high comprehension. I like to call this mental endurance because it has taken a lot of practice, a lot of conversations with native speakers to be able to get to this point where I can comprehend them through long conversations or even through long movies and a lot of episodes of TV shows. Next up, we have vocabulary, and this is not me telling you to go out and start studying a whole bunch of vocab lists because it does not work that well. Trust me, I've tried it. But what this means is what type of vocabulary that you are accustomed to or what vocabulary that you have studied. When I met one of my friends from Guatemala, we started to have conversations basically every single day in the gym, but he used to talk with a lot of words that I was not used to whatsoever. A lot about business, entrepreneurship, and romance. And I never studied that before in the past. So basically in every single conversation, I kept asking him to explain exactly what he was saying. What does this word mean? ¿Qué significa esto? ¿Qué? Hermano, no te entiendo. And it was really embarrassing at first until I realized that I never had exposure to this vocabulary before, so I can't put so much pressure on myself and think that I can understand 100% of what he's saying. And this type of situation happened to me a lot, especially when I first started talking to native Spanish speakers through Hello Talk. So I was talking with people from Argentina, from Mexico, and from Colombia, but there was a lot of vocabulary that I did not know that they were saying because they were using colloquial phrases and words that were specifically from their countries. I definitely lacked a lot of vocabulary when I went to the Dominican Republic because I felt like every single sentence literally had all new words that I never heard before. There was one time I met these two Dominicans at the beach and I tried to have a conversation with them, but I ended up just sitting there and trying to comprehend what they were saying. This conversation lasted for about 15 to 20 minutes and I literally could not understand a word that they said. So basically, I was confused in almost all of my conversations that I was having when I was in the Dominican Republic because I lacked the vocabulary that they use there. And I definitely tried to listen really hard, and that didn't work very well. Next up, we have sentence structure and grammar. So you might not always find a connection in between your native tongue and the Spanish language. And for me as an English speaker, it was very difficult for me, and it still is a lot of times, for me to comprehend verbs like gustar when I'm saying things like me gustas, te gusto, me estás gustando, and different phrases like that because it's not the same in my native tongues. My friend from Guatemala had to explain this to me for about 15 minutes because I was like, wait, does she like you or she like someone else? Espérate, are you saying that I like that person? So don't feel bad if you have to have one of your Spanish speaking friends explain to you a grammar concept over and over again, or if you have to keep repeating a scene in a movie that you're watching. Different Spanish accents can definitely make it very difficult to understand what a native Spanish speaker is saying. I still find it incredible that just changing someone's accent can make your perception of a Spanish word so different. Por ejemplo, cuando estoy hablando como dominicano, yo voy a decir la palabra arroz. Pero si quiero cambiar mi acento para sonar como una persona de España, yo voy a decir la palabra como arroz. I love Spanish accents so much, they're so beautiful, but why do they be so hard to comprehend? For example, I just met some Cubans at my gym, And the first time I met him just 3 weeks ago, I could not understand probably 95% of their conversation because this was the first time that I've ever been in contact with the Cubanos. So it's been incredibly difficult to try to comprehend them because their accent for me is like, I don't know, but it sounds extremely distinct from all other Spanish accents that I've heard. Now we have the combination of new colloquial phrases and words that you don't know, and then also a new Spanish accent that you have never heard before. So just keep that in mind because as you can tell, this is quite complex. I remember the first time that I was talking with some Dominicans and I heard the word to. I was like, wait, what is to? And that is basically todo, but shortened up. So you'll notice that a lot with Dominican Spanish, how they shorten the words. Pa mí, no es para mí, it is pa mí. Or instead of estoy bien, it's going to be estoy bien. The type of content that you're listening to can also make it very challenging to understand a native Spanish speaker. And when I say the type of content, I mean the difference between watching an instructional YouTube video about Spanish grammar and Spanish sentences. So this could be like a Spanish teacher versus when they're having an actual conversation in Spanish with one of their friends. Many times when someone is teaching Spanish to a Spanish learner, they are using a very neutral accent. So they're not going to be using the same type of language, the same type of tones that they would be using with someone that they know very closely, like friends and family. So you can be able to understand them very clearly. So you won't have to worry about them cutting off a whole bunch of words. So instead of saying a whole bunch of words and phrases all combined together and very fast, you may notice that a teacher is going to speak a lot more slowly and they're going to break them more out. So they can say a phrase like, yo quiero ir a la playa. But of course, when Spanish speakers are having a conversation, it's not going to sound so broken out like that, but it's going to sound all together like, yo quiero ir a la playa. I remember I used to get super frustrated when I could not understand what actors were saying in movies and TV shows on Netflix. But then I realized a lot of that has to do with bad audio. You keep repeating the same scene over and over again, but it's like no matter how many repetitions that you make, it's just the sound quality is just really bad. Or maybe bad is not the right word, but it's just very low. Or maybe that Spanish speaker is whispering a lot or mumbling and you just can't make out what they're saying. This happens to me even when I'm watching movies in my first language. Like in the movie Tenet, I could not understand what anybody was saying. If you don't know how the letters of the Spanish alphabet sound, that can be another big reason why you find it very hard to understand a native Spanish speaker, because you are not able to break down that particular word that they're saying. I like to use the Spanish alphabet a lot when I'm talking to a lot of my Spanish speaking friends. For example, if someone said the word lámpara, I would ask them, wait, how do you spell that? And then with those letters, I could make that word myself. So I would go L-A-A, lámpara, okay. I understand what that word is. But if you didn't know the alphabet, you wouldn't really be able to make that connection and be able to sound out that word on your own. In addition, there are also a lot of combination of letters in Spanish. For example, in transportación, at the end of this word, you have yon, and that makes that particular sound. But if you didn't know that, maybe you would just pronounce it like ion or eon or something like that. Now you understand why it is so difficult to understand a native Spanish speaker. And I can tell you that after figuring all of this out, I felt a lot more calm and I felt more confident in myself. Tell me in the comment section below a time when you found it incredibly difficult to understand a native Spanish speaker and what did you do? Muchas gracias por ver este video. Nos vemos en el próximo video.